tight end position coming up. Check out the names. We've touched upon Jonnu Smith already to New England. Him and Hunter Henry, the new tandem. It's been a while since we saw Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. Those were some great offensive years for the Patriots. Clearly the winners at the tight end position this offseason. Not one, but two. Do you love or just like the move, Dylan?
Man, that's tough. Right now, I just like it. Pretty much going on Paul's reasoning there. Just, man, all that money spent, it didn't really seem that necessary. I don't know what the market was. I didn't see any other reports about people kind of going, that all in on some of these tight ends. But ultimately, hey, they targeted their guys. They obviously have a vision in place. That's why they were able to get some of these deals done that quickly here. I guess my thing is at this point, I'm still trying to decipher who's going to be kind of leading that tandem there as far as yards this season. I'm still going back and forth. I think kind of where I landed at this point is Jonnu actually leading in yards. I think on paper, I see Henry being kind of the better, blocking tight end if you're kind of just ranking them two specifically. So I can see kind of maybe Hunter blocking a little bit more in some of those like run heavy packages. So again, that's just kind of my initial thoughts. No idea what their offense is going to look like. But I think on those run heavy packages where both Jonnu and Henry are in, Jonnu could be the one kind of draping off because he can get a lot of yak and take one to the house, where Henry's kind of more just, hey, I'm a move the chains guy. And I actually really like Henry, but right now I'm kind of leaning to Jonnu, kind of leading that tandem in yards at this point, even though I don't think we've really seen Jonnu have a season over like 500 or 600 yards. So that's kind of my pausing point at that, just to kind of see, is he really going to be capable of leading this tandem when he's never done it in his career? So I don't know, man. It's a lot of money.
Yo, Paul, man, are both are Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry both draftable in fantasy leagues?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Because they both got paid. They're the big names right now that hit, the tight end market in a pretty quiet offseason for tight ends, really. I mean, the only other maybe notable thing was Gronkowski coming back, which we all knew was going to happen. And then Jared Cook is the only other kind of notable name that got moved. So yeah, I don't know what to think on that. I think, just with the way Cam played last year, and his passing struggles, I honestly don't think either of them I would start in fantasy until I'd see something. I'd have to see how they played the first month, but just based on how Cam played last year, and then the fact that they signed both of them and signed all the other receivers too, it just, they're still good. They still should be a running team, kind of like they were last year, where Cam gets a lot of carries and then they rely on the run game because the passing struggles. So yeah, based on that, I don't think I'd draft either guy, honestly.
What? Either guy? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm staying away.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm on the caution yellow light right there for both of them too.
Wow. Okay. I think Jonnu Smith has to be the guy you draft. I think Hunter Henry is the more fringe. Maybe you sign him week 2 after he probably catches a touchdown week 1. Maybe Jonnu has the better game or something. I get it. All right. I'm a little surprised. I expect them to do some really good things. You look at the rest of the roster: N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers, James White, Nelson Aguilar. So those are the best 4 options outside of tight end. They have to make Smith and Henry the top 2 options in this offense to succeed, in my opinion, especially when you consider they're going to run the ball with Cam Newton. He's still going to be running. They're going to run it with Damian Harris if he's on the field and Sony Michel if he's on the field. They're going to run the ball, but when they throw it, it has to be to these 2 guys, I would think, if they're going to put up some W's, is what I'm saying. Then you go around Jared Cook signing, replacing Hunter Henry with the Chargers. Jared Cook is probably higher on your list, right, than both of the guys in New England in terms of fantasy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I can see that with Herbie out there. Yeah.
Okay. And then Rob Gronkowski, does he rank the highest of these 4 tight ends that we're talking about here?
I'd put him ahead of the New England guys, but I would have Cook higher on the list just because Gronkowski, they got all the weapons in Tampa. Yeah. Plus, they got Cameron Brate, who got action too. So, there were some games where Gronkowski had solid games, but then there was other games where you just didn't have a target, and he was just asked to block. So yeah.
Yeah, the volatility in that offense is it's pretty hard to predict, especially at the tight end position there. They're going to feed Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, so that's pretty tough. Especially you want to spell Gronk throughout the season, which obviously they did a pretty good job last year. But there's another name, at least kind of caught my eye, was Gerald Everett. I know he's not a world beater, but I just think Seattle gets a little bit more athletic at that position. Hey, all due respect to Jacob Hollister, he was a solid player, but I think Gerald Everett gives him, again, a more versatile target, more athletic dude who can kind of, be able to chip block and kind of release and make some plays in the pass catching field for Russell Wilson. So another target to help get some easy yards when, all the attention's on Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, obviously.
That was the guy I was going to ask you about. Everett, he's good for 300 or 400 yards a year. Looks like he's part of a tandem with Tyler Higbee. He was. You mentioned Hollister. Sounds like did you just mention Hollister? Am I making that up?
No, yeah, I did because he played in Seattle last year. So.
Yeah. Now he's in Buffalo. Hey, maybe Gerald Everett takes a step forward. I don't know. I'm not willing to make that call.
Yeah.
And then, so another veteran, Paul, impact, you can keep it as simple as this: impact or no impact. I'm going to give you 3 guys. First, Kyle Rudolph. Impact or no impact?
No impact.
Okay. It just sounds
no hesitation. I love it.
Nick Vannett.
No impact.
Dan Arnold.
No impact.
So Dill, Dan Arnold, he showed some flashes last year with the Cardinals. You don't think chance in a high power, a talented offense with young offensive minded coaches that are supposed to be some of the best coaches. Can you see Arnold becoming fantasy relevant? By becoming, I mean top 12 or 14.
I could see it. It's definitely possible. Especially at the tight end position in fantasy, it's really not that hard to be in the top 10 or 12. You just need a decent amount of target share in your offense. And if they're willing to, right, they obviously saw something in him and were able to bring him in. So they obviously have some sort of plan. Just, it's going to be tough. You kind of have to kind of wait and see with a lot of the tight ends, I think, outside of the top 3 guys at this point. So, but yeah, I think he can be relevant. Top 10 to 12 tight end, not that hard to achieve, unfortunately.
Yeah, Sam. So we're gonna have Sam Darnold thrown to Dan Arnold. Okay, that's cool. But anyways,
oh man.
Another thing I was gonna throw out is, hey, Zack Ertz, does he go to any of these teams on this list? I personally think if he gets traded, it's between the Colts and the Seahawks. I know we just mentioned Gerald Everett, but getting a Seahawks, a team that's in win now mode, could definitely see them going for a guy like Ertz, and then also Colts, obviously because of the Wentz connection. So I think that'll be an interesting question too with this tight end offseason where not the biggest names are moved, and we're trying to push up guys that aren't the most talented guys and seeing if they have any fantasy value. But it's hard to see, any of them having major impact besides some of the guys we mentioned already. But for me, one of the more intriguing things is, hey, where does Zack Ertz end up?
And I think the Jets is another destination. A former front office guy from Philly is now running the show, Joe Douglas in New York. And hey, sometimes that's all you need is a locker room leader. And, it's a very young team, the Jets, young team, first year of a regime. They're probably looking for some vets, and that's a trade I could see coming, aside from Seattle, who I agree with, Indy, who I agree with. I see those as well. And yeah, we got to tip our caps off, man. Jason Witten, Greg Olson. Jason Witten's a Hall of Famer, right?
Yes.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Just checking. Agreed. Greg Olson?
No.
I'd say no. As much respect I have for him in his career, I still say no.
Agreed. Clean sweep. And then Vance McDonald also retires. And then that'll do it for the tight position.
I thought you were adding him like Vance McDonald Hall of Fame. I was like, what? Where is he going with it?
Right. Alley-oop. Well, just one more thing about Zack Ertz. I actually kind of would have liked to see him on Buffalo, if I'm being honest. Yeah. I could see why they didn't want to give up capital to go get him. If they could just go sign somebody, outright in free agency like they did. But who knows? Maybe that's still in the works. But I would like to see him there. Just wanted to add my 2 cents there.
I love that. Okay, say Josh, knock on wood. And by the way, if Vance McDonald ever watches this, I was trying to give you a shout out that you retired, man. So Buffalo, say they sign Zack Ertz, and I'll knock on wood, say Josh Allen gets injured. You got Zack Ertz, you got Emmanuel Sanders, you got Stephon Diggs, you got a couple young backs. With Mitch Trubisky, can they win a playoff game?
Ooh. I still say, yeah. I'll go with they could still win a game.
I think so too. I think he has enough support around him, and hopefully he would get coached up by the time playoff comes around if he needed to come in, by then. So I could see it.
Could they beat the Chiefs?
Not with Mitch.
With Mitch? No.
Okay. Enough said about the tight end position in Buffalo there.
Here is a handoff to Smith. That jet sweep action, and he comes right across, and you got to react. So
Tannehill tosses, end zone. Oh! Jonnu Smith first.
A brilliant one-handed catch in the back of the end zone, fighting with Carr there. The left hand goes out.
Gets away, throws on the run, and then is hauled in for the...
When he's throwing on the run, he's probably as there is in the game. Played a little wide receiver back in the day. Did that look like the Titans?
The fake to Dawkins. Tannehill's pass is caught. And still going, taking it all the way to the end zone for a touch.
Continues to step up for me. And look at the athleticism. Once he gets this ball in his hands, there is no stopping this train. He goes all the Marcus Lattimore, who one of the better corners in the league. And you have an asset like this at tight end.
Tannehill, great protection again, over the middle, into the end zone, caught, touchdown! It takes a long time for this play to develop. Wingard has good coverage, but you throw it high, go up and get it. Tannehill told us that Jonnu's a Swiss Army knife.
A 2nd and goal. Tannehill looking up top. He's got Smith open, and it's a touchdown.
Fake, block down, I'm not here, sneak out. People don't see you. And that is allocated to stop Henry. So when everyone gets 2 steps in too far, you're trying to run back.
Play fake. Tannehill rolls to the right. Got himself some room. Rolls. End zone. Touchdown.
Again, pressure off the edge, setting up the pass play to Corey Davis. Rather, I beg your pardon, to Jonnu.
Let him go right by. That's how you neutralize a pass rush. Needed 20, got 20.
Tannehill getting the rush. Quick completes the pass. And inside the 10-yard line is Jonnu Smith.
Tannehill. And it's caught by Smith near the goal line. He's in.
Well, they just get it off. Here's Tannehill to throw for it on 4th and goal. And he's got his man.
It's crazy.
From the 2-yard line. And there's the pass. It's caught. Touchdown to John.
You get everyone to soak up to the run. Your tight end out, and you got an easy touchdown reception.
Tannehill looking to throw. Plenty of time. Wide open. Jonnu Smith into Jacksonville territory. Winger trying to chase him down, and he does.
Tannehill on the slant to Jonnu Smith. He's got him. Touchdown, Tennessee.